Your price is not your problem. A lot of clients come to us thinking that price is the only thing that matters, that the only way that they can make sales is to lower prices. They want to drop dollars and drop dollars and drop dollars, and it eats up their margin. Now, in a world where nearly every product has become so commoditized with, let's say, Amazon, with Walmart online, with any of these big online shopping retailers, it is hard to compete when so many people are just buying based on pricing. But if you have an expensive product, like I'll give you one client example here. We had a client doing 1.5 a year, 1.5 million a year. And we were looking at hopefully scaling as I had conversations with the CEO and with the spot they were in, it was essentially, he was looking at shutting the business down. Now they had healthy margins for a product business, healthy net margins. I believe they're about 50%. So they're making $750 a year. But the thing is the way royalties worked, but not royalties, sorry, the way the profit share worked between him and the other, like the actual owner of the company, he got, I think it was $60K. So he was getting screwed on his deal, but that wasn't my problem. That's not what we're here to fix. So what we're here to fix, we're here to increase the revenue, and we're here to just make hella money for these guys. So what does that look like? How do we do that? So the big problem that they were saying that they had was that they were priced too high in the market. So I believe that they were priced right around $20K per unit, but their competitors were about $15K, and that was unfortunately leading a lot of people away from their business. Now, I'm not sure that I believe that, especially when the product that they were selling is something that you're going to use for years and years and years. Now, I don't think this 5K difference, especially for a product that has superior features, that has all the paint colors you could ever dream of, has the speaker system, have whatever. For something that has this type of a split of 5K, I don't think a lifelong product or a 10-year product is going to be made up by a 5K split. So what we did on our onboarding, like we do with most of our clients, especially if we're going to be helping them on the sales side as well, is we ask them, what are your current objections? What are the things people are saying on the sales calls? What are people saying when you go to a trade show, when you go meet them at the, wherever I gotta be careful what I say. We're under a legally binding contract. I don't say too much about this one, but what are people saying about this that's actually stopping them from buying? And what we got was transport. I gotta be careful. Transport. They couldn't transport the product. It was too big. It was too heavy. It wasn't something that they could just throw in the back of their vehicle and take with them. It was too big. Okay, no problem. And then storage. So very similar, right? It's going to be, it's too big, it's too heavy, it's whatever. It's this, that's the next thing. So people have nowhere to store it, and they have no way to get it from A to B. Now, to me, that started, getting the wheels turning in my head, saying, okay, well, clearly we don't need to drop price because these are the problems. If these are the reason people actually aren't buying, if people are being honest and open with you, and this is truly the reason that you keep getting, then let's try and tackle those reasons. Because they're at currently, I'm not sure, but this is when we were working with them. They were at a 50% on-call close rate. So that's solid. That's very solid for a 20K item. Now, to me, that was like, well, okay, so probably you need to increase the volume of sales for sure. So that's why we started running social media. We did short form, and then we also did a long form series for them, which started to generate a ton of dollars for them as well. But then there still came these two issues. It's transport and storage. So when they were getting on some of these sales calls, we kept seeing these problems come up again and again and again. So what I decided to do was, hey, is it okay if I start to put together a plan to help you guys eliminate these issues? And we got, yeah, right, sure, go ahead and try. So what I did was, utilizing some of the connections that I have, is we took that transport issue and we went to a local transportation manufacturer, we could say. And what we did with this manufacturer is we worked out a deal saying, hey, if we can promise you X number of sales per year, can you give us this price, right? Classic deal. Nothing too crazy about that. So what we did is we worked out a deal saying, okay, like let's say if there was 15 sales a year, we get this for $800. Okay, great. So now we just took $800 off the bottom line of took $800 off the bottom line of the product. Okay, that's not good. Okay, tell me, well, what do you do for storage? Okay, so we talked to a bunch of different storage facilities, including some at the actual places that these products would be used. And we worked out a deal saying, hey, if we can offer, a discounted price or a free price for 1 year, free price for 1 year to these customers, would you be willing to offer them a spot to store their product next year? So 1 year out from now, we'll cover the first year. So 1 year of service we'll cover, which ended up being I think it was like $250, $300. We can say 300. So I'm pumping my tires. So we'll say $300. Okay. So now all in all, we've added $1,100 of additional cost onto each product. So now, in theory, just to cover the cost, they would have to sell their products for $21,100, which, if pricing is their problem, brother, that's a horrible idea. But it wasn't. Pricing wasn't their problem. Like we said earlier, pricing is not your problem, right? It's going to be something else. And so in this case, transport, let's do purple. I like purple. Transport and storage was their problems. Obviously, call volume as well. But in this scenario, what we were able to do is, because we added so much extra value and we took care of the two main objections that they were getting, what we were able to do is we were able to 2x the price, because this was now something that they didn't have to worry about. We made this so convenient and so much of a no-brainer offer for them. Shout out Hormozi. We made this so much of a no-brainer offer for them, for the customers, that they basically had no choice but to do it. Anytime they were like, well, we have nowhere to put it. It's like, well, we worked out a storage deal. We're actually going to have that taken care of for you. Oh, shit. Okay. Well, I don't have any way to get it to the course. We don't have any way to get it to the place I'm going to use this thing. No problem. We worked out transport. And as long as you got a bumper hitch, we'll be set. Damn. Okay. Well, now they're looking like, well, okay, maybe it is too expensive. And you're like, well, but this has every single feature that we talked about. We talked about this being the only thing holding you back was these two things. Let's jump into it. And so what we found was, when we 2x the price, they were still closing at 50% on the calls. But now, instead of 1.5 a year, we took them to 3 million a year. So all we had to do was find a way to overcome those objections in advance, and in a way that truly solved them, not just essentially push them down the road. And now, if you want to just push it down the road and try and do an upsell or do an ascension down the road to fix that, then go for it. But they will smell that. So your pricing usually isn't your issue. Try and find the real objection, because when we were talking to these clients, they never actually brought up that price was a problem that they were getting on the calls, that they were never getting an objection about price. It was never it's way too expensive for me. It was a $5,000 split on something you're going to use for 5 years. That's usually not going to be the make or break. Sometimes it is. Absolutely. Sometimes it is, but it's not usually going to be the make or break. So solve the real objections, solve them well, and then obviously increase your price according to the value you added. So you can cover your ass, so you can make some more money, and so that you can get out there and just crush it. So that's all I got today. This is a real example from one of the clients that we've helped here at 99th Media. If you guys want more information, click the link in the description below. If not, have a great day. God bless.